up, Rec Techies? Welcome to another edition of Rec Tech on YouTube. More new recruiting technology for you today. So we've got Findem on the line, and I'm joined by Matt Cavallo, the Director of Sales, Engineering, and Enablement. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Doing well, Chris. How are you?
All right, so you're going to walk us through some new changes to the Findem platform. Excited to see what you guys have in store here for us. So take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And thank you for taking the opportunity to learn about Findem. We've been building the solution now for a better part of half a decade. I think
Nice.
it's probably fair to start on what is Findem, what have we been working on? And Findem is, as you can see on the screen, the only AI talent acquisition solution that's powered by our unique 3D data. So what does this really mean? Findem, for the better part of the last 5 years now, coming up on 6 years, has been building our own proprietary data lake. And what this data lake is a combination of over 100,000 different websites across company, time, people data. And we're allowing users to then query into this database in order to increase their quality of their searches, decrease their time to hire. It's been really phenomenal to see on some of the customer success stories, which I highly recommend head over to Findem.ai if anyone wants to learn about that. But today specifically, we're going to be talking about Findem's new Copilot that is helping people leverage AI for the way that it was intended, which is to automate, consolidate, and then at the end of the day, cut costs and save money for the organization.
Okay. I kind of classify you guys as a sourcing tool, but is it broader than that, do you think, Matt? Or how would you describe it in a few words?
Yeah, Copilot itself is going to be more focused on the sourcing top of funnel, especially like identifying those candidates, unlocking multiple hiring channels. And we're gonna dive into exactly what all this means during the call, but mostly solving that top of funnel in the pipeline.
Okay.
Perfect. There were a few learnings that Findem has because this idea of solving for multiple hiring channels, unlocking more than just external, and that is exactly what Findem's Copilot is attempting to do. So what we've learned is that before Copilot, we gave all of our users access to multiple channels. So like your inbound channel, your applicant tracking system, your CRM, maybe people internally at your organization that would be good fit for the role, right? They're like two desks over from you. We don't even know that they've applied for the role and we're just keep going external. So what Copilot is attempting to overcome are these three main areas. So one, provide more data, more insights into like your applicant tracking system, those inbound applicants, maybe people that have left your company and would be open to coming back. Bridge the data between each of these channels then, so you can see just one screenshot exactly where most of your hires can be coming from. And then most importantly, we're using AI as an AI first company to go ahead and simplify those overcomplicated workflows. Because unless you actually had someone going into your applicant tracking system, right, and updating tags, making sure everyone's where they're at, seeing who's referred who, seeing who knows who, like in a connections basis, it was just very complicated and people ended up just defaulting back to what they already knew when it came to sourcing.
Okay.
All right. So that brings us to what Copilot is doing. So we're taking each of our warm hiring channels. We consider these warm. So someone that's already expressed interest in working for the role, someone that's already expressed interest in working for your organization, someone that you've already been nurturing in a CRM, and any referrals. And then Copilot is going into each of these channels and then identifying which of these candidates have the highest likely to convert. And what that means is converting by have they expressed interest in this role? So for an example, I've actually gone to Findem's career page and inbound applied. I'm saying, hey, Chris, like I really want to work for this role. I've actually applied 3 times to other roles here. I really want to work for Findem. And their qualifications are aligned with either the job description or whichever search parameters I put. Copilot will do this throughout each channel to identify who's most likely to convert to a hire. I'd say as a customer success story, we're already having customers make hires within just the first 50 candidates in a pool now. So those times where you're like, oh, I need 2, 3, 5,000 candidates in a sourcing pool,
Mhm.
Copilot is helping identify those highest quality, most likely to convert. And some of our clients are making hires with just the first 50, which is exactly what Copilot is doing here, right? So We're having current state. People are trying to grow and actually increase their productivity. Find them before was allowing to unlock those hiring channels, but now with Copilot, we're seeing much more efficiency gains through leveraging AI. So, Chris, if you have any questions, more than happy to dive in here, or from here, we'll show you exactly what Copilot is.
Yeah, with the different channels, Matt, referrals, ATS, CRM, you're sort of aggregating all that data inside Findem first?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Not only aggregating, but also updating and enriching. So if you think of like a LinkedIn profile, right? Like we all have LinkedIn profiles.
Mhm.
Then let's say on LinkedIn, I have a skill here, but then I have additional skills on GitHub. I also have some ResearchGate, some publications, some Google Scholar. Findem will take all that information, also update the contact information, and then allow you to query across multiple other data points rather than just keywords.
Very cool.
All right. We've done a lot of talk though. So I think now it's probably time to show you exactly what Findem's been working on.
All right, demo time.
Yes. So when you log in to Findem, there are some key differentiators between what Findem's doing with Copilot and what you might hear on the other market. A good rule of thumb is, first of all, and Chris, I'm sure you've seen this before and heard of it also, but not all AI is created equal, right? We're learning that at some point, probably 98% of like tools on the market will have some degree of AI in them. It's not a matter of if the tool has AI, it's more so what business value does your artificial intelligence model bring to me? Like, what are you actually solving for? With Copilot, we're trying to really solve that automation, the consolidation, and the cost savings through data. So, for an example, you'll see I'm connected to a demo environment here at Findem, and here are some open roles that we have in our applicant tracking system. In this instance, we're using Greenhouse.
Okay.
You'll see I can go ahead and filter for like recruiter, maybe hiring managers. I want to just see exactly who it is that I'm working with. You'll also be able to have the job descriptions that are pulled just from Greenhouse. So at a surface level, the benefit here is you can see exactly how Findem will be building the search. But really, from a collaboration standpoint, now when a hiring manager edits, maybe they've taken some notes, maybe they've said like, "Oh, we need to change this vice president of engineering role a little bit." Those changes will now reflect in Findem. What Findem's doing on the back end with Copilot is we are reading this job description, parsing through, and we're already pre-finding and verifying candidates that are aligned to this job description before you as a user even hit start. Now, the key difference here is rather than just a JD parser that you might see on another like vendor's page, Findem is then layering this text into our data lake. So we're going beyond just the JD looking for intent. So for an example, if we're looking for someone that has this like agile or Java experience, we're not just looking for Java or Python on like a LinkedIn, but we're also going to like a GitHub, Stack Overflow, verifying those skills, pulling in those repositories to really bump up that quality rather than just like I've worked with teams that know Java, right? So it's really just trying to bump up the quality of the search here.
So
From here,
you're adding
go
more
ahead.
skills verification in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, got some verification of skills, and that's just the surface level. When we actually get started with Copilot, we'll show you exactly how specific we can get this search to really set those expectations. I mean, personally speaking, when I'm working with clients and prospects, a lot of them are just asking, "How can I defend my search?" I got some niche roles that I'm hiring for. I have to set expectations with hiring managers. I promise you, I'm searching, I'm not finding, but I just need data. So Findem being a BI platform that we are is allowing and arming this data so then people can go and actually have collaboration discussions at kickoff meetings rather than just saying, oh, it's been really challenging the last few months. When you're welcomed, Copilot will automatically go into all of your channels and tell you, hey, based on this job description, you got 37 candidates that are already sitting in your CRM that might be a good fit. You also have close to 50 candidates that are just sitting in Greenhouse that might be a good fit. Let me update and enrich all those profiles. Furthermore, we've already had 135 candidates actually log in, go to your career page, and inbound apply for this role and express interest. This is typically where we'll ask our clients and prospects, how much has your ATS grown by over the last 6 months? Because you'd be shocked at the amount of data that people are sitting on now, just given the current economic when it comes to jobs. On let me just I guarantee I can find someone that's a good fit for this role that I've already talked to, that
Mhm.
already knows our organization. And that's exactly how people are decreasing this time to hire. And as we see this flip from external sourcing into more people for coming from these warmer channels, these inbound, this ATS, the CRM, the connections, it's almost like a lot of the people that we're talking to now have an obligation just to understand, okay, like what tools are out there, regardless of finding, but like which tools are out there that can help me update, enrich, and locate the talent that already knows my brand that would be willing to work with me.
Those are interesting numbers there. The employee connections, which is the big pink ring there.
Yeah.
How does that work? Can you tell me more about the underlying layer there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the employee connections will start with like a LinkedIn connection, but it goes so much further. We're layering on time through our data lake, remember? So we're going to go ahead and see, did Chris and Matt work at the same company at the same time on the same team, right? There might be a connection here. And it's going further. The Copilot is going further by not just saying, hey, Chris and Matt know each other, but it's saying Chris knows Matt and Matt is a quality fit based on this job description.
Does that require the employees of a company though to sort of sync their accounts to find them, or how does it like
Oh
how are
yeah.
you finding those connections?
Yeah, let's say get started. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the fascinating part about Findem is the only tabs that require an integration across, or the only strategies that require an integration are the inbound applicants and the ATS. For an example, for the employee connections tab, because we're already mapping across those 100,000 different websites on the public domain,
Mhm.
we already know who's connected with who, so you don't need to connect yourself. So we know that who's working at whose organization for how long on which teams and which departments, so we know all that already.
Yeah, that's a cool feature. I like that aspect of
Yeah.
it.
And these are all your strategies, right? Like,
Mhm.
sure, Copilot is automatically going into each of these channels and recommending the top 50 candidates that are most likely to convert. But if you want to have a dedicated employee referral, employee connection workflow, you have it, right? If you only want to go ahead in the 135 candidates that have inbound applied, you have it. The interesting part about Findem is with each of these profiles, just to show you the depth of the data that's coming into Findem. For an example, we have a LinkedIn. We have a GitHub. We also have a ResearchGate, right? You'll be able to scroll down. You have your contact information, any of the bio, the work experience. You're typically used to seeing this on like a resume, a LinkedIn, right? For an
Mhm.
example. As you scroll down towards the bottom, though, you'll get more of these publications. So, what have these people actually been putting out on the internet? You'll get any
Nice.
of these patents, right? Like it's all right here. Languages that they speak, connections that you have with this individual that your organization has. Insights at a Glance is a unique proprietary AI insights that Findem's providing. So this particular candidate does have startup experience. We're mapping when the candidate joined the organization, cross-referencing with the financial records of the organization that they joined, and seeing how the company performed when they were there. So then we can go ahead and give you these proprietary insights, along with any of the reasons why this candidate's a good fit, not a fit, a match, or not. And then very down below, you actually have your own AI assistant through Copilot, so you can start asking questions. Like, does this candidate actually have the requirements I need for a VP of engineering? Or like, give me 5 great interview questions for this candidate. The AI Copilot assistant will then help you, so you can just talk to the system.
That's an impressive amount of data there on a person. So I'm yeah, color me impressed there, Matt.
Okay. I think the big takeaway though that we want to have is there is a lot of data, right? Like Findem's been harvesting a lot of this data for years, and this is what we pride ourselves on as a business intelligence solution. So, for an example, like Salesforce, we don't need Sarah in this case to say, "Hey, I've worked at business to business or B2B." We already know that you have because we know that Salesforce is a business to business company.
Yep.
So, any of those times where you've been looking for maybe a software as a service or SaaS individual, if they haven't listed SaaS on their profile, then they've been missed, right? Findem is ensuring that all these people are here. We can see, check this out. Like since Sarah's been here, growth, right? Here's the financial information. And the reason I show this isn't to show you all the features and functions, but people are creating custom attributes or custom queries, right? Based on the data that they have in here. So for an example, I don't want just a vice president of engineering, right? Here's what our JD has pulled in, but specifically I need a vice president of engineering who's also been reporting 2 levels from a CEO. Like, I need them to have a direct line of sight that they've had that level of leadership experience. So you're able then to have all these custom strategies to really refine what you're looking for, rather than just relying on one set of data, one set of keywords. It's much more strategic and then really helps for those email outreaches, as I'm sure you're thinking, like the people that report to a CEO should receive a different email than those that are maybe like 4 degrees away.
Hmm. For sure.
Mhm. This is how Findem users are using Copilot to really start automating these workflows, right? Like by the time we were going on the internet, looking up maybe like SEC files to look for organization structure, board structure, right? And then actually seeing how well this company performed while this candidate was here. We've already done all that. Now, all we need to do is simply just go into each of our channels and identify, well, who's most likely should we be reaching out to? You'll notice that's what's unique to find them is we have these verified icons. Chris, I haven't seen any other vendor currently to date using this verified. And what verified means for Copilot is that the profile is under 30 days fresh, so never more than a month old. And we are greater than 98% confident that this is the most up to date and relevant contact information for the candidate,
Hmm.
which is really helping for those response rates.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Um, how long does it take to integrate a product like this with a client, Matt, typically?
Yeah. So the short answer is it's very simple. We've been working on our integrations for a while, but then I'll also give you the attorney answer of it depends. It depends on what you're connecting, right? Like if you have one of the big player ATSs, it's pretty straightforward. Typically takes us roughly about 2 weeks. We'll set up the integration. Then we'll just do some testing with the team over the next week or two. By about 4 weeks at the absolute max, you should be in there, but you already have access before that. Because remember, the only tabs that you need the integration for is like the inbound and ATS. The rest of all these tabs are ready to go at day zero.
Yep. Um, that surfacing of candidates, I think, is so important today because it just saves so much time for the recruiter.
Hmm.
Mm. Just talk about that a bit more in terms of just the cost savings there and the time savings too.
Yes. If whoever has a chance, head to Findem's website for our customer stories. You'll see that the time savings and the cost savings are some of the most significant impacts that we've had. And all because, for an example, I know we've been talking about Copilot, but you can actually click into these tabs and you can see what Copilot is actually doing, right? So maybe let's say, sure, sounds great, Copilot. You found me 50 candidates that are most likely to convert. How? What's happening here? And the time savings is rather than going through each of these candidates one by one, we're already not only identifying the candidates, but we're ranking and scoring them based on the job description that you've put in, right? Or any of the criteria that you want to change. Then, for an example, I can just simply filter, just show me anyone that's a criteria not met, right? There's 135 people that have been here. On average, we're finding that somewhere between 3 and 5% of the inbound pool is quality or someone that you'd like to. But that doesn't mean that the rest of these candidates shouldn't receive something, right? Like we're finding that the highest conversion rates when it comes to protecting the employer brand, like you've applied, like who are you? Like I need to still hear from you. So you'll have your automated rejection emails going out or maybe dispositioning emails going out saying like, thank you so much for applying. Like, please click this link if you would like to opt into our community for future experience or future opportunities. But then I really want to just go ahead and identify those top people that I do want to reach out to, right? So this alone, right now, we were just on the phone with a prospect, a fairly large organization, close to a Fortune 500, and they said, I posted a job on Thursday of last week, and they had over 3,000 applicants. And just a simple question of, well, how long does it take your time to go? How long does it take your team to go through that, right? All those applicants. And to be honest, candidly, like a lot of some of the clients that we're talking to, like they might start with the first 10, really fine tooth comb, maybe the first 20 they're really going through. But by the time you get to 50, 100, right? Like it starts going down a little bit. We're starting to push people through. And then the hiring manager is asking Chris, well, what's going on? This isn't what I wanted. Find them will automatically do all this for you.
Appreciate
Yeah,
the tour today, Matt. How long have you been at Findem now?
coming up on 3 years now. Yeah, it's been exciting to see what this company's been doing.
What's the best part about your job?
I honestly this. I think when I first started, I thought everyone I feel like it's kind of silly, but I thought we were all going to have the same problems. Inbound applicants, ATS. It's not. It's fascinating to work with product here at Findem, and we built Copilot just to go into each of these tabs. There's so much more in here, right? Like you've seen what AI can do. I mean, what users have been able to unlock using AI, the AI assistant, the Copilot, has been really exciting.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time today, Matt. Check them out at findem.ai. Any other last words for the audience?
Just thank you for taking the opportunity and time to learn about Findem. We're really passionate about what we've been doing. We've been having great success. Please reach out to us if you have any questions.
Thanks, Matt. And thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.
All right. Thanks, Chris.